Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Random Thoughts and Views with Jan. Today's episode takes a look at Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z. I will run through his rise, pivotal moments in his career, the controversies, and the countdown to 2036.
Sloan from sloanbella.com, and I'm back with another energetically channeled video. Now, this person is alive currently, and this is the energy around the circumstances. Now, I will tell you right off the bat, immediately, I pick up the year 2036. Now, that's, what is that, 12 years from now? So 2036 is a key playing time for the ending of this person's reign of power, systematically following through until that time frame, but completely eradicated at that time. So the energy of this person's empire is slowly collapsing. Now, when you look at a person's empire or what they produce or what they create, that extends to family members and everybody down the line, okay? So systematically, which is really interesting because what I get is this particular person who has acquired, probably was the first hip-hop billionaire in 2019, so they say, has acquired so much wealth and power over the masses, along with his very famous wife. And when you look at it, they're very famous children because, of course, when the parents are celebrities, the children come into play in the public eye. But this particular person is winding down energetically. And I see a complete brick wall shut right in front of this person. So no matter how they try to get around what is coming for them, by the year 2036, we are done. So 2030, 2036. So as soon as we hit the agenda of 2030, 6 years later, we are done. So this particular powerful person no longer has reign over what is going on in the public eye, okay, or in the music industry. There is a complete takedown of this energy right now. And I go through so many people around him. It's not just him. He's the one that took the bait and took the power. But remember, when you take the power, they're always coming for your power. We see that everywhere we go. We see that in any business, little restaurants, all the way up to huge corporations, to huge public celebrities. So who am I talking about? I'm talking about Jay-Z, if you didn't figure it out, with his very famous wife.
That was YouTuber Sloan Bella, who is also a professional psychic medium and master astrologer. In June 2023, Sloan posted a video predicting the demise of Sean P. Diddy Combs, and in November of that same year, singer and former girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed a civil lawsuit under the Adult Survivors Act in New York, accusing Combs of a decade-long cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. The lawsuit was settled one day after it was filed for an estimated $20 million. This set the stage for Combs' reckoning. Later, in early 2024, Sloan posted a prediction video featuring Jay-Z. But before I delve deeper into her predictions, let's take a quick look at Jay's journey, a journey that is currently experiencing some turbulence. The late 1980s. Jay began recording, mentored by fellow rapper Jaz-O. 1994, co-founded Rockefeller Records with Damon Dash and Kareem Biggs Burke to release his music. 1996, released debut album Reasonable Doubt. 1998, Volume 2 Hard Knock Life brought major commercial success, including a Grammy. 2001, the Blueprint album became a classic, earning a rare 5 mics from the Source magazine. 2003, the Black Album marked a temporary retirement. 2004, became president and CEO of Def Jam Recordings. 2006, returns from retirement with the album Kingdom Come. 2008, married Beyonce, a relationship that was shrouded in secrecy for years and still shrouded in secrecy after they married. 2009, Blueprint 3 album makes him the solo artist with the most #1 albums on Billboard. 2011, releases Watch the Throne with Kanye West. 2012, becomes minority owner of the Brooklyn Nets, selling his stake in 2013 to launch Roc Nation Sports, a sports agency. 2013, the album Magna Carta Holy Grail is released. 2015, becomes co-owner of music streaming service Tidal. 2017, releases 444, focusing on family and legacy. 2018, releases Everything Is Love with Beyonce. 2021, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 2023, sells controlling stake in Douce Cognac for $750 million. Impressive. On the surface, everything he touched seemed to turn to gold. He was the face of success and wealth, especially in the world of hip-hop. Former drug dealer from Brooklyn's Marcy Projects, now living the American dream with the hottest chick in the game by his side. Jay's career and visibility rose, particularly internationally, when it was whispered he was dating a then very young Beyonce, 12 years his junior. After he featured on her hit single, Crazy in Love, the whispers grew louder, and it was obvious they were a couple. However, the relationship was shrouded in secrecy for years. They would never speak on their relationship publicly. Even when they eventually tied the knot, that was shrouded in secrecy. They refused to confirm whether or not they were married at first. Weeks after getting married, though, Jay-Z appeared on the British talk show, The Jonathan Ross Show. This also coincided with him headlining the Glastonbury Music Festival several days later. The first rapper to ever headline the festival. And an odd choice, in my opinion, but I will get into that later. Anyway, when Jonathan congratulated him on his marriage and proceeded to want to talk to him about Beyonce, Jay was polite, but at the same time made it clear that he didn't want to discuss his recent marriage.
Hey, you're a happily married man.
I like the set.
Yeah.
It's like art.
Yeah.
I'm into art now.
What sort of art do you like, Jay-Z?
Damien Hirst, I have this. See, you sent me that. Thank you. That was a nice segue. We're working together now.
Can I ask you about your wife? Can I ask you a little bit about your home life? I
Whoa.
know you don't talk about it too much.
Whoa. Like, you can ask me questions, I'll dance around them. It's a
but
fantastic thing.
You're married to one of the most successful performers in her field as well. And the gorgeous, I've never met her, but man, I've admired her from afar like we all have. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, in a very safe way, the beautiful Beyonce. So congratulations on that. Well done for a start.
Listen, I can guarantee that a section of the live studio audience didn't even know who he was outside of now being Beyonce's husband and the rapper who featured on her 2003 single Crazy in Love. I don't even think Jonathan was that familiar with him. But somehow, Jay was headlining Britain's biggest music festival. The alliance with Beyonce proved to be a win for Jay. The world opened up and opportunities appeared in some interesting spaces. First came Jay-Z's historic 2006 concert at London's Royal Albert Hall, which marked the first hip-hop show at the prestigious venue, featuring surprise guests Beyonce, surprise, surprise, Chris Martin, the lead singer of Coldplay, his then wife Gwyneth Paltrow, and Nas, celebrating the 10th anniversary of his debut album Reasonable Doubt, with orchestral backing. Now, my question was, when did the organisers at the Royal Albert Hall become this familiar with Jay-Z and his debut album? They agreed to host him because of Beyonce. Then, in 2008, he was announced as the headlining act at the Glastonbury Music Festival. Again, why was he chosen to be the first ever rapper to headline Glastonbury when internationally there were bigger selling artists and more recognisable artists from the genre? Snoop Dogg, being one of them, and even Kanye at the time. Kanye was the first act from Jay's label Rockefeller Records to go platinum outside of America, before Jay-Z. The majority who attended Glastonbury that year at a push probably knew the single Hard Knock Life because it reached number 2 in the UK chart back in 1998, while others were probably more familiar with the 2003 single 99 Problems. They were not hip-hop fans like that and did not know his catalogue. Also, thinking back, Jay seemed to know this. On the run-up to his show, he seemed nervous. You could see it, as there had been a lot of backlash. But that was the Beyonce effect, opening doors for her husband. The organisers were probably secretly hoping that she would appear during his set. She didn't. Many of you listening, more than likely, don't believe in psychic mediums. Understandable, as there are a lot of frauds out there. But I have always believed that there are those who have the gift, and Sloan Bella, I believe, is one of those people. As stated earlier, Sloan posted a video in 2024 discussing Jay-Z, and her predictions are slowly beginning to play out in real time. For years, Jay seemed untouchable. No one in the world of hip-hop or mainstream media dared speak ill of the great Hove, at least not publicly. For years, male hip-hop media personalities were so far up his backside they were in danger of suffocating. Rappers who were once considered his peers were also up his backside. The only ones nipping at his heels were the gossip YouTubers. They would share their conspiracy theories about Jay. They would create disturbing videos attempting to prove he was part of the Illuminati and that he dabbled in the dark arts. Beyonce too. But all this went over Jay's head. He never responded publicly to any of this. He didn't take those YouTubers seriously. I suspect he was confident, believing that no one was paying attention to those non-entities. The choke no jokes of the YouTube world. They were irrelevant. Even when singer and former collaborator Jaguar Wright jumped in with outrageous claims, he remained silent. But this was about to change. In late 2024, the tide began to turn somewhat when it came to how mainstream news outlets and popular black entertainment blogs handled stories that involved Jay. In the past, whenever they reported on him, it was always praising and applauding him for something or another. This time, though, they didn't shy away from reporting the not-so-positive news. Actually, before I go into what started the ball rolling in late 2024, let's talk about the once highly prestigious Rock Nation Brunch. The brunch was an annual exclusive pre-Grammy event hosted by Rock Nation founder Jay-Z. The guest list brought together A-list celebrities and influential figures from various sectors. Up until January 2020, Sean Diddy Combs would also be in attendance, holding court alongside Jay, speaking on black excellence.
2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. Yeah. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're going to keep staying together. We getting tighter. That's you know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else to us. Black excellence. Right here.
Images and video clips could be seen all over social media of the event. Male celebrities who were once peers of Jay's could be seen following him around the event, looking like lost puppies. Then there was a visible frenzy when Beyonce later entered the brunch. The brunch was a major talking point each year and was viewed as being the place to be. You had officially made it if you received an invitation. After 2020, there was a hiatus before it returned in February 2023. But there was something different. There wasn't the usual fanfare or excitement. There was no Diddy in sight, and the presence of major A-listers was few and far between. There were no grown men following Jay around the room, happy to be in his presence like previous years. All I saw was a pic of Jay standing in a corner with producer Swizz Beatz and taking pictures with Lil Kim. And when Beyonce later appeared, she looked like she was limping. Her publicist was leading her around the event with an annoyed look on her face, and Beyonce's outfit looked like a recycled version of the same outfit she wore at the brunch back in early 2020. Something was definitely off that year, and there hasn't been a Rock Nation brunch since.
We are in 2024. This is whatever month this is. This is March, the beginning of 2024. So we are headed for the next 3 years, 25, 26, and 27, with the beginning initial stages of the knockdown when it comes to Jay-Z. He's not absolutely going to be taken down yet. There are steps where if he doesn't fall into line, he is going to be shaken up. Now, what I do see 3 years from now, him, his wife, and his kid. I don't know if there's more than one kid. There might be more than one kid. I can't remember with everybody who has kids. But anyway, him, his kid, and his wife, I see them with suitcases. And I literally see them leaving. So their residence will no longer be in the United States. This is what I'm seeing. And this happens by 2027, if not sooner, 2025 through 2027. There is a leaving of the energy here. And there is a flipping of his personality. So what I'm seeing is a complete shift in his personality. So what does that mean? It means that on a representative way, so how I present myself outwardly, this changes. So now I change my tune, put on another mask, and I present myself outwardly in a different fashion. He thinks he can escape by doing that. If I present myself this way, the public will see me this way and nothing will happen to me. The reason that he is in the music industry is because of his finely tuned ability to walk a line between what you and I see and where they go, which is different, which is why they have a different lifestyle than us. It's not because they're better or more creative. Understand what you're looking at when you see somebody like Jay-Z is somebody who took an opportunity to step out of a comfort zone and into one that they thought, and this is a greed level. I want fame, I want success, I want money. It's not just I'm a businessman. And he is using his queen, which is Queen B, Beyonce, to help him maneuver in that fashion. But it's interesting because what I see is the wax is melting on the candle. I'm seeing them melt like wax candles. So the facade that they both have and that their family has is actually crumbling right now. You will see it within 3 years. About a change in how the public looks at Jay-Z. There's like all kinds of things going on. He has a target directed at him because people want him found out. Beyonce does as well. This is what they're doing. Changing the candle wax, upping the game, upping the ante. The energy is very, very odd, but this is what I feel. So it's 3 years, and then in the year 2036, it no longer exists. He is a expression of his former self, and that former self is contained in such a way that we don't recognize it, and it doesn't have the power that it wields right now. So we are in a long line of circumstances happening right now with a takedown. Now, what I am seeing is Jay-Z's beginning, okay, so the succession of being unraveled in the next 3 years starts with a burglary of something. So Jay-Z is in the process of having some connection to missing burglarized items, and it's going to come up around him. That's the first marker, and I'm not sure what it is he steals. I don't know if this is a stolen song, a stolen item, a stolen car. I don't know what it is, but it is a burglary of something I have stolen, and now I'm being accused of taking this. And that is the beginning of it, because they will start nosing around with him. So there's like a lot of nosing around. It's in the theft of something. And by theft, I don't quite know what I mean by that, but it's by the theft of something. And when you look at that, it just draws attention to him, and they don't like attention. attention drawn to them.
So, Sloan said all this in early 2024, and towards the end of that year and leading into 2025, the following has happened. In November 2024, Jay-Z was involved in a legal dispute over allegations that would later become public in December of that same year. An anonymous woman, Jane Doe, alleged that Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs drugged and raped her at a house party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards when she was just 13 years old. She claimed a female celebrity watched the assault and that she had been drugged after taking a drink from a waitress. On November 18th, 2024, Jay-Z filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles against attorney Tony Busby. He initially filed anonymously as a celebrity John Doe, accusing Busby of extortion and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Jay-Z's legal team claimed that on November 5th, 2024, Busby sent a demand letter threatening to go public with the wildly false rape allegations unless Jay-Z paid a large sum of money. Jay-Z rejected the settlement demand, calling it a shakedown and a blackmail attempt. Because he did not pay, the woman's existing lawsuit against Combs was amended on December 8th, 2024 to formally name Jay-Z as a defendant. The woman's lawsuit was ultimately dismissed in early 2025 after she voluntarily withdrew it, citing fear of retaliation and admitting to inconsistencies in her story, such as misidentifying other guests who were not present at the event. In response, Jay-Z filed a defamation and conspiracy lawsuit against the woman and her attorneys in March 2025. NBC News exclusively interviewed the woman who alleged that Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs raped her.
Tonight, Jay-Z fighting back against a rape accusation. His attorney filing a letter to the judge to dismiss the rape lawsuit against his client, citing an NBC News exclusive that found inconsistencies with the accuser's story.
You should always advocate for yourself.
It comes after our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama who accuses Sean Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter of raping her when she was 13 years old. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward? Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
She says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000. The woman says she spoke to Combs' limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party. She says at the party she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo. It's the Last Supper.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both raped her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said she stands by her statements. I have made some mistakes, she said, in remembering what happened 24 years ago. Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me. In a statement to NBC News, Sean Carter said, "This incident didn't happen. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory." A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Is any part of you scared coming out against such powerful people? I'm scared of what happened, but I'm more afraid of letting it eat me alive.
The allegations rocked Jay-Z to his core, so much so, he released a statement via the Rock Nation Twitter account. In the statement, he said, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer called Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human being, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valour. You have neither honour nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honour. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake psychics, he's talking about Sloan Bella there, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me, that if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Also, during this time, Jay's attorney, Alex Spiro, held a press conference disputing the allegations that his client was facing. Honestly, the way Alex presented his evidence, you would have thought he was in front of a judge and jury in court.
Occurred. You have to look at different pieces of the narrative, the location, where it happened, the witnesses, who were they, what did they say, the details. Details are very important in time. So we start off with the location, and according to their complaint, after approximately 20 minutes, she arrived at a White House with a U-shaped driveway and a gate. There is no such location in New York, 20 minutes from Radio City. It does not exist. There is no such location. We don't know whether they created a location in order to try to get jurisdiction in New York so they could bring this case in New York, or whether they just didn't do their homework. But any New Yorker knows there is no such location. Beyond that, this was supposed to have taken place at Mr. Combs' after party, according to them. When you look at the homes associated with Mr. Combs during that period of time, and even not during that period of time, none of them matches. He had a townhouse, he had a house in the Hamptons hours away, and he had homes in New Jersey, but not at that time. None of the homes work, the location doesn't work, because this never happened. And again, when you really bear down on the location and his whereabouts, you quickly realize, because if there's photographic evidence and witnesses are coming forward, that Mr. Carter was at a commercial establishment after the VMAs. He wasn't at a house. Unfortunately for them, they needed to create this house in order to create the narrative. But he wasn't at a White House that did not exist. And this is a photograph of him at a location after the VMAs. So, as we can continue through this, that Jane Doe does not say that the assault happened at a commercial establishment. She can't. That wouldn't make any sense. Yet they stand by it. They double down. They triple down. White House. The White House doesn't exist. And then we get to the witnesses. And I think at the outset, everybody has to remember that in 24 years, not a single witness has ever come forward saying this happened. Quarter of a century. Think about that. She said she's at the party alone, this 13-year-old girl, and she finds herself in the room with the three most famous people at the party. Just think about how unnatural, how little common sense that makes. And according to her, one of the witnesses is a female celebrity who's just standing there watching the repetitive rape of a child. That celebrity does nothing, says nothing, reports nothing. And in fact, they won't even identify her. According to them, there's an adult female in the room watching the rape of a child. They refuse to identify her. So then we continue. And you look and there's celebrities that she says she's mingling with before. Afterwards, she says she runs out of the house naked. runs out of the house naked. None of them notice that. None of them pay any notice. For 24 years, none of them has said anything. And so she's just asked in this interview, she's asked, well, I mean, celebrities are recognizable people. Surely you can tell us one celebrity that was there. Just give us one name so that we know this happened. And she says, okay, Benji Madden was there. And she wants to conjure up religion and say, I'm religious. I remember his tattoo. She looks and remembers so vividly the tattoo and the conversation with Mr. Madden. Well, Mr. Madden wasn't there. He already said he wasn't there. His tour schedule says he wasn't there. And he wasn't there because this never happened. None of this ever happened.
This signalled the first major chink in Jay's armour. He would later go on to say that he lost millions in business deals because of the damaging allegation. Well, allegations of rape and paedophilia will do that to a businessman. Singer and former collaborator Jaguar Wright has spent a number of years sharing her controversial views on Jay and Beyonce. After years of accusing them of all manner of different things, she caught the attention of journalist and polarising figure Piers Morgan. When I saw Jaguar on his show, Piers Morgan Uncensored, I almost choked on my Pepsi Max. Jaguar, who the majority of the time seems unstable, but at the same time might be speaking truth, but then may also have a tendency to exaggerate. Here she was speaking to Piers Morgan.
For years, I've been screaming, Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple, keeping people against their will, putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. For 4 years, I've been screaming, Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
Piers knew that once she said all that live, there would be a response from Jay's attorneys. And he also knew this would be a viral moment. Piers was once the editor-in-chief of leading UK tabloid newspaper, The Daily Mirror. The man understands media law. He immediately removed Jaguar's contribution to the conversation and issued an apology. This wasn't the first time Jaguar accused the Carters of some dark stuff. But the difference this time was that she accused them of doing dark stuff on Piers Morgan's Uncensored, in front of an audience of millions around the world, made up of many demographics, also including potential business partners.
Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Later came the return of Raimir Satterthwaite. Raimir Satterthwaite is a man who has spent over a decade claiming Jay-Z is his biological father, alleging a relationship with his late mother, Wanda, when she was 16, which led to Raimir's birth around 1992. The long-running paternity dispute, supported by Raimir's godmother, Lily Coley, recently concluded with a California judge dismissing related lawsuits in late 2025, preventing further refiling. Though Ramier claims Jay-Z's legal team used technicalities to avoid a DNA test. So, if you want to know more about this story, check out a previous episode I posted several years ago detailing this situation. I personally believe he is Jay's son, but this may never be confirmed due to Ramier's mother being a minor when she had him, and Jay being in his 20s, a grown man. Then came allegations of duping college students. So when the Rock Nation School launched at Long Island University's downtown Brooklyn campus in 2021, as many as 50 students from its inaugural class were awarded what they believed were debt-free scholarships by Jay-Z's behemoth entertainment company, meaning no loans or grants would be required for the completion of their degree. However, at least a dozen students are now claiming that they were billed by the school for thousands of dollars, forcing them to either borrow from the bank or leave their programs altogether.
Music students at LIU Brooklyn campus thought that they'd graduate debt-free after getting a scholarship paid for by rapper Jay-Z. Now, they say they owe thousands to graduate. News 12's Rob Flax has the latest.
Students at the LIU Brooklyn Rock Nation School, founded by Jay-Z, say they were enrolled in an arts program they believed would be debt-free for Hope Scholarship recipients. But today, many are facing thousands of dollars in debt, like senior Jordan Drone.
I have the Hope Scholarship. I have multiple grants. I'm starting to see like the balance to start coming in. It's like, oh, now I'm in debt.
Initial emails to students from 2021 read that the scholarship, in addition to grants, will allow you to graduate without debt. Many students felt forced to take on private loans, even with scholarships. LIU's website refers to the Hope Scholarship as tuition-free.
I have multiple grants and scholarships, but I still owe each semester is additional $10,000.
Now, students say it wasn't just a financial impact, as they had to spend time fighting to figure out their finances, taking second jobs, all of it taking away time from them becoming the artists they came here to be.
It's definitely slowed. It stunted my growth as an artist. A lot of my classmates actually left or just dropped out completely because of the additional fees that were added onto that financial balance.
Drone is hoping to negotiate down debts, while others have filed formal complaints to the Department of Education. We reached out to LIU and Rock Nation. Both declined to be interviewed for this story.
Then came the news that wife Beyonce had music stolen from a car in Atlanta. Unreleased music, footage plans, and set lists belonging to Beyonce were stolen from a rented SUV in Atlanta in July 2025 during her Cowboy Carter tour, leading to an arrest in September 2025. However, the stolen items, including hard drives and laptops, have not been recovered. The theft occurred from a vehicle used by her choreographer, and police used tracking data from devices to investigate, eventually leading to a suspect, Kelvin Evans. Many wondered, how could something like this happen? You would think that when it comes to Beyonce, security is paramount. Why would these important items be in the possession of a choreographer, who then just leaves them in their car? This sounded like an inside job or setup. It also leads back to Sloan Bella's earlier prediction that Jay would be involved in a theft of some kind that will ultimately lead to his takedown. In September 2025, it was announced that Jay's bid to open a casino in the heart of New York City's Times Square had been rejected. On September 17, 2025, a 6-member Community Advisory Committee voted 4-2 against the proposal, effectively ending its chance to move forward in the state's licensing process. The bid faced intense pushback from the Broadway League, theatre owners, and local residents, who argued the casino would cause chaos, increase congestion, and erode the cultural magic of the theatre district. Appointees Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams supported the bid, while representatives of local elected officials, including State Senator Liz Kruger and Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine, voted against it. The project, named Caesars Palace Times Square, was planned for 1515 Broadway, One Astor Plaza, a 54-story building that currently houses the Miskoff Theatre. Jay-Z pitched the project as a cultural partnership, promising a 150,000 square foot casino, a luxury hotel, and a sports-orientated version of his 40/40 club. To win over the community, the partnership pledged $250 million in grants for Hell's Kitchen and Times Square, including an initial $15 million and long-term funding tied to the casino's profits. While Jay-Z's Manhattan bid failed, fellow rapper and businessman Nas saw success. A $5.5 billion bid in Queens that Nas partnered with received unanimous committee approval in late 2025. It was also noted that during the run-up to a decision, Jay tried to spin this venture as some sort of social cause that would help Black and working class communities. In an interview, he discussed how to make the casino project beneficial to Black and working class communities that have historically been impacted by gambling and gambling addiction. He said, "Gambling addiction is a serious issue that isn't unique to Black or working class communities. We're committed to providing resources for everyone. Caesars Palace has one of the most comprehensive, responsible gaming programs, and their long-standing record is a major reason why they are our partner. The project brings positive, lasting benefits through meaningful partnerships and investments, from supporting cultural institutions like the Civil Rights Museum to uplifting local theatres such as Town Hall and Sony Hall. Our goal is to create opportunity and ensure this project delivers a real value to the communities that need it most." After the loss was announced, SL Green CEO Mark Holliday confronted Community Advisory Committee members after the vote, telling them, "What you did here today was despicable." Honestly, the way he reacted, anyone would have thought they voted against opening a large affordable healthcare facility. It was a casino, a gambling den, Mark.
Go run and hide. Because what you did, we met the standard and then some, and the only one with courage to stand up is the governor and the mayor appointees, and everybody else runs and hides. Go run and hide. Because what you did, the benefits you denied this community and this city and state, you have to live with that history forever.
Then came the reaction from the popular morning radio show The Breakfast Club, hosted by Jay's #1 cheerleader, Leonard McKelvey, aka Charlemagne the God, and his Charlemites.
If it was meant to be, it would have been, but I just wonder, how does that state board justify not wanting all those hundreds of millions of dollars being invested into that community? Like, who's going to make that kind of investment into Times Square and that community now?
Charlemagne, millions upon millions of tourists visit Times Square every year. I'm sure Times Square will survive without a casino. Idiot.
I'm not for sure.
Like, and I love going to Broadway. I go to Broadway plays all the time. I take my daughter to Broadway plays, but that Broadway audience is very, very old. I don't know if Broadway is attracting a younger audience. So what's going to happen 5 years from now? What's Times Square going to look like?
Times Square will be fine. It will survive without a casino.
I'm not for sure. I can tell you though. Well, first of all, that audio that was SL.
The CEO of SL Green.
The CEO of SL Green, Mark Holliday, and it was a six-person committee that he was speaking to that decided to make that vote. Now, I will tell you, people are pretty upset. Like, there are people who are upset that people even wanted this to happen in the first place, as we know. But there are people that feel like it should have happened. But there are people who are mad that things like this are happening. That this CEO, but then also Des Perez, who is Jay-Z's right hand, are coming out and making statements about this, stating that, this is something that the community needed. So we received a statement.
The community does not need a casino.
From Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez, and she was responding to the bid being denied. And she said, "Thank you to Governor Hochul and Mayor Adams for standing up for NYC. Unfortunately, not every politician has the courage and the foresight to do what's right for their constituents."
Like I said, 5 years from now, what is Times Square going to look like? Who is going to make this kind of investment in Times Square? When you look at all the benefits that they were going to provide, all of the dollars that they were going to provide, where's that money going to come from now? Like, what is Times Square going to look like 5 years from now?
Go ahead.
Tesla Figueroa's in here as well.
Yes. Yeah, I got to say this because we're talking about people being appointed and voting. This is why voting local matters. You know, so we spend a lot of time talking about what's going on with the president, what's going on with Congress. This is what actually makes a difference, guys, local politics. When you talk about 6 people on the board being able to make this type of decision of billions of dollars, this is how you look into who got appointed. How did they get on the board? How do you vote them in or out? So just wanted to throw that out there, guys. If you want to make a difference, get involved in the local level.
If you want to make a difference, vote for a casino. Listen to these idiots. Now, there is a reason why Charlemagne was all for the casino. He backed the project by appearing at hearings and encouraging its approval, alongside other celebrities like Alicia Keys and civil rights activist Al Sharpton. There were also alleged attempts to bribe a community organizer who was initially protesting their plans for the casino in Manhattan. Gwen Hogan of the City.nyc reported that Roc Nation offered Tenant Association President Aletta Lafargue $20,000 per month if she worked as an independent contractor for the company and supported the casino plans. Lafargue would now change her tone during a meeting, saying, "I know there's a lot of feelings about whether or not our community gets a casino, but here we are to listen to what they have to say, what they have to offer." This is what she told the tenants. Following her remarks, Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez and former NYPD Police Commissioner Bill Bratton, who put together the security plan for the prospective casino, also addressed Manhattan Plaza tenants. What they weren't told is that Lafargue had been offered a $20,000 a month contract to work as an independent contractor for Roc Nation, according to a copy of it obtained by the city dated January 2024. The document says that Lafargue would advise and support the company as it relates to community engagement, provide strategic counsel as it relates to assisting the company with its mission to have a positive social impact, and attend meetings and select mutually agreed community events. It was even reported that during the process of lobbying for the casino license, the casino development team met with New York State Senator Liz Kruger, who held a vote on the project. According to Kruger, the team asked her if she wanted to meet Jay-Z. When she declined, they then mentioned his wife, asking, "Well, you know who he's married to." The senator did not meet either celebrity, nor did she vote for the project. If we take into account everything that has happened over the past couple of years, particularly since the takedown of his now former friend Diddy, and if Sloan Bella's prediction video from March 2024 is to be believed, the signs are there, and the countdown to 2036 has already begun to take effect. Allegations of money laundering, which is related to the casino, had he won the bid, lawsuits, and the rumours that the reason Beyonce is going on world tours practically every year is because her husband is in debt, is a sign that a shift is happening. The veil is slowly slipping, and mainstream media outlets are catching on. It's no longer gossip YouTubers with smaller audiences solely doing the reporting. When mainstream media start showing that they no longer hold you in such high regard, like they have done for years, and start digging, then it's time to worry.
Pass it off to Jack.
Thank you. As you can tell by Dez's accent, she's from the Bronx. I'm from Brooklyn. This is what New York really looks like. The programs and things that we've done, and not to highlight what we would like to do with the casino, but something we've been doing 21 years with the scholarship, the job fair. We're 6 years into reform. These are things that we do naturally because it's who we are. So the alignment with Caesars and SL Green, it was important for us that these things are included. Obviously I came up through sports and entertainment, sports too. Built my career around entertainment and culture. And again, homegrown talent from Brooklyn in the Bronx. And, the things that he's built within New York, and in Times Square being the perfect place for us. I think that I'm trying to reserve myself from the. It's a very good idea. Very good alignment for us to fulfill the promise of Times Square. And it goes beyond Gaming Buzz. If you look at the work that we've done, even with the NFL and how we've presented culture to the NFL, there was never a hip-hop artist that headlined Super Bowl until we brought that to the forefront. And then I think we brought the NFL their first Emmy in the live sector. And I think we got 5 or 6.
At 5, and we were just nominated for 4.
And within our stint, and we just beginning there as well. So, and also when we come into a space, this, particularly like Broadway, we're not coming to compete with Broadway. We're coming to add. We coming to be additive. You know, anything that we've done in the past, we've always included the community. We've never excluded the community. So for us, it's important. One of the first calls I made, and you know, that's public now. You already talked about your undercover people on the floor and told the whole world. So I'll tell. One of the first calls we made was to Bob that I made, another Brooklynite, Bob Iger, because it was important for us to talk about the Lion King being involved with this building. So I think I'm going to stop there.
If Jay thought his pitch for the casino was going to win everyone over, he was sadly mistaken. For someone who has been hyped up over the years, whether it be for his music or business endeavours, the footage of him bidding for the casino was an eye-opener. He would have seriously benefited from practicing before entering the boardroom. But anyway, 2026 is a couple of weeks away. In the new year, or maybe in 2027, I can see Jay in particular losing that old school aura of inaccessibility and agreeing to appear on popular black media platforms that he would have said no to before or strung along, giving the impression he will grant an interview one day. If things continue to be shaky, he will need their support, especially if he has something to promote. So I can first see him popping up on The Breakfast Club. His only appearance on the show was in 2013. Then I can see him popping up on Drink Champs. Nori will be pleased. And last but not least, the Joe Budden podcast, or possibly a one-on-one interview with Joe. He will rethink his approach when it comes to the public, gauge the energy, and become more visible. As for his wife, the lovely Beyonce, it will probably be business as usual and a world tour every year leading up to the year 2036. That concludes today's episode. But for more news, views and thoughts, visit Twitter Mad News UK, Instagram Mad News UK and madnewsuk.com.